And hello, you're listening to Cross Rhythms. I'm here with Arie Camp. Hello.
Hello. So happy to be here.
Great to have you. So for listeners that don't know you already, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, my name's Arie. I do music. Right now I'm living in Nashville, Tennessee, but I'm actually currently living in Weybridge, Cornwall, which has been very fun. Interning for
Cornwall.
best. Love Cornwall. It's beautiful. Yeah. And my family has been music my whole life. So music has been a part of my life. And I'm not sick of it just yet. So I decided I want to do it too.
Nice. We'll touch on that in a bit later. So obviously you're Christian, like I am, and many of us on the station are. So tell us a bit about your story, your testimony.
Yeah. Well, I grew up in a Christian family, so I've known Jesus my whole life. I've been taught about him, and I've loved him my whole life. And I think there hasn't been like a specific moment of like this is when I decided to follow Jesus, because I feel like it's been my whole life. But I think, as you do when you grow up in a Christian family, you have to make sure there is like a turning point of when your faith becomes your own. And I think that probably happened in high school, where I realized like I want to be like I know about God and I love God. I want to be like all in for him. Since then, I think it's just been a journey of learning and growing and failing and, learning again. So, yeah, that's kind of my testimony, I would say. Just a lifetime with God, but feels like I am just beginning and learning all the things that God is and everything that he is to me. And, it's very cool. I love it.
Amazing. So you touched on it a little bit already, but you did grow up in a very musical family. So I imagine getting into music was a very natural thing for you. So tell us a bit about that kind of process of actually getting to do music yourself.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've been around music. My dad's a musician. My mom's a musician. So it's been in our family for my entire life. Music is constantly playing. Like, everyone's singing and harmonizing in our home, basically. So what music was never unfamiliar, but to choose it myself, actually, I would say, happened. I told my dad, because he does music, and I pulled him aside and I was like, Dad, this is your thing. I don't want to do it. Like, you've done it already. I love music, but I don't want to do this as a career. And then I started writing a lot of poetry when I would say like 13, 14. And I loved singing. And then I realized I want to like sing my poems. And then I realized that is what songwriting is. And then that kind of just became my journey of like, I was just expressing my thoughts through poetry and singing. And then piano, and I don't know, it's kind of all fallen into place, and the Lord has really just made that my heart. And yeah, that's kind of how I got into it.
Amazing. So it was very much kind of the word, the kind of poetry that started from kind of more melody and like music and the instrumental part came second and came later.
Yeah, which is weird because I know that's not a lot of people. It's like they write songs. It depends for me, but most of the time I will be writing a poem and then be like poetry and singing is like my two favorite things. So I'm like, wait, I have to fully feel these words, I need to sing them. So then I'm like, wait, that's actually what a singer-songwriter does. So, yeah, it was fun journey.
So as well, do you play an instrument yourself? Was that something that was easy to kind of get the music behind your poetry? Or is it you've had to kind of pull in your family and friends to help you along with that?
A bit of both, I would say. My first instrument I played was actually violin when I was young. And I'm sad I stopped playing, but I wish I didn't. And one of my goals to maybe pick it back up again. But yeah, I did like piano lessons every once in a while, as I feel like most kids have done some part of their life. but I didn't love it until I started singing and writing, and then I just taught myself. My sister and my mom helped me, but I mainly just taught myself the chords. And then I lightly play guitar, but not very well. So I would say when it comes to like musical, I write all the songs only by myself in melody and chords, but it would be like just on piano. So if I need a guitarist, it will not be me. It will be someone else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we shall stop there for a quick break, and we'll be back with Arie after this. We're back. I am still joined by Arie Camp. And just before the break, we were talking about kind of the process of music, how you got into it, and a little bit about how you go about actually making it. So you've just released the song, Lucky You. So tell us about the song.
Yeah. Well, I actually my friends, they're a writer and a producer, and they heard some of my other stuff and were like, we really want to write and produce with you. So that would be the first time I've actually ever done something like that with another person. And I was like panicking. I didn't know what to write about. They're more like pop songwriter and producer, and I usually actually don't lean towards pop when it comes to my writing, even though I love pop music. So I was like panicking, like, I don't know what to do. What am I going to write about? And I was literally brushing my teeth the morning before the studio session. And I was like, Lucky You would be such a cheeky, like funny way to do like a love pop song. Just like a different take on, I guess, the perspective of being in like a new relationship and stuff like that. So I decided that would be really fun. And then my inspiration was Lennon Stella, because she's like kind of chill, funky pop. And then we kind of just came into the studio and wrote it. It flowed so quickly. It kind of just happened so fast, but I would say that would be kind of the inspiration behind it. Nothing super specific, but also kind of personal to the thing that I was going through, because I love taking my personal life and sharing it to everyone. With music. So yeah, it came from my heart, which is really fun in like a way. So it's cool.
Yeah. So before the break, you were saying about how you kind of got into music a bit more through kind of the words and like the poetry side of things. Was that what was with this song as well? Or was it because it was a bit more of a collaboration? It was kind of all of it all together.
Yeah, it actually came. I sent the producer the song from Lennon Stella, and I was like, this is the song that I love, and I think it'd be so cool. And then I got there, and he's an incredible producer, Jordan Sapp. He cranked out like a bass already, and we were all wow, this is so cool. Oh my gosh, yes. And then it kind of just happened from there. So yeah, it was really fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you mentioned as well that you've been living in Cornwall for the last couple of months, working at Creation Fest. So tell us a bit about that. How did it come about, and what have you been doing?
Well, last year I visited Creation Fest for the first time because my parents have known Sarah Yardley, and we've been friends with Sarah Yardley, the mission lead of Creation Fest, for my whole life. And she called my mom before last year's Creation Fest and was like, do Belle and Arie, Belle's my sister, Belle and Arie want to come to Creation Fest and just like see what it's like? And Belle and I are like, we don't know what that is, but sure. And then we did, and yeah, I fell in love. I was like, oh my gosh, the community here, Cornwall is beautiful. Sarah Yardley is beautiful. Everyone, it was just like a cool environment to be in. So I pulled Sarah aside and I was like, how can I be a part of this? I guess to an extended point. And she was like, well, you can come intern next summer. And then I said yes. And then it just happened. So I've been doing office hospitality work and social media for Creation Fest, which kind of randomly got put on me just because of the situation. But it was actually great. I've learned so much, and I'm so grateful to Creation Fest and the whole team for all that I've learned. It's been such a blast, and I definitely feel like I've grown in my relationship with the Lord as well. So
amazing.
Sweet.
Yeah, I imagine that was quite the step of faith as well. 'Cause, as you already said, you come from America. You're not British. If people haven't guessed from the accent. And so to come over here and intern, even if it is with a kind of family friend, must have been quite the step for you.
Yeah, it was. It was and it wasn't, because I feel like my parents have been really good at just letting us do what we feel is best and like preparing us for however life comes. So it was huge. And I was like basically just turned 18 and then I flew over. So
Wow.
yeah, pretty insane, but it's been a blast. It's been so fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So if listeners want to find your song or find out about any other projects you might have in the future, where can they find you?
Well, my song is out on, I think, basically every streaming platform that exists. So that's good. And then you can follow me on Instagram at Arie.camp and TikTok. That is definitely less used. I'm not very good at posting on TikTok, but it's the same app, just Arie.camp. Keeping it simple.
Nice. Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's been fun.